Hey everyone, we're leaving the Bethlehem Diner where the Republican candidate Scott Wagner for governor of Pennsylvania, Scott Wagner just did a campaign stop here. Now, please, unfortunately he did not do any speaking. This was a more informal meet and greet, which in a lot of cases is much better than the typical formal, typical format of, okay, everybody's showing up. You have the introductory speakers. I've covered campaigns and elections for 4 years, so it's kind of hard to tell you to have this down to an exact science. Where, excuse me, you have the introductory speakers, you have the candidate, and chances are by the time the candidate, unless you're a really serious diehard supporter, by the time the candidate gets up, you're kind of like zoned out anyway. So you're not really even paying attention. But these informal meet and greets are an excellent way to truly connect with people and really find out, see them in their natural environment versus, like you said, a formal, campaign event or fundraiser. Now, the rest of this editorial, by editorial, I mean opinion and opinion only. This is not the official view of the magazine. I have to stress, Surrealville City officially and completely stays neutral when it comes to politics, and as a rule, in general, presents only the facts. But as a voter and resident, a two-time resident of the state of Pennsylvania, I'm 47 years old, and I can remember growing up where there was a saying about Republicans and Democrats. Republicans are for the rich, Democrats are for the poor. But Scott, by making a stop here at a diner and other places like this, Mr. Wagner is saying, you know what? We're in 2018. That doesn't exist anymore. Mr. Wagner, if you can, in case you're curious, you can't tell already, as a voter, a registered independent, by the way, he seriously impressed me by making stops at places like this where, guess what, you have families, you have a wide variety of age groups, you have people who are busting their ass and killing themselves for everything from minimum wage, and waitress salary on up to business people, coming in for a good breakfast, and just to get together, have a good conversation and start a beautiful summer Saturday off. So that's the first thing that impressed me about him. Now, when I was standing there I was standing near the entrance when he walked in, and he walked right up to me, and trust me, haven't shaved in a couple days, been up since, when he arrived, I've been up for 27 hours now. So don't exactly look my best, but he walked right up to me, introduced himself. I introduced myself. I said, please don't take offense. I'm a registered independent. You have no problem in the world with it. I'm gonna try and get across here without getting popped. I handed in my card. Just said a few things, had a very brief conversation with him. Said I was in, had an independent online magazine. Treated me with the same respect that he would treat the major networks. As a voter only. Point number 2, I'm impressed with. And then, as you can tell from the photos and videos, please check out the photos and videos, that just walking around. Now, granted, there was I had a chance to speak with someone. They estimated about 55 supporters showed up. Of course, he spoke with his supporters first, but then I noticed that his daughter kind of, pointed, okay, let's go out, let's leave this circle, and let's meet a few other people that are just here for for breakfast. So he did move away from his supporters shortly before he left, and introduced himself and tried to speak with as many people as possible, and actually listen to them. And I did take notice, not granted, obviously, granted, he was there on a campaign stop, but he did actually help, chip in, for lack of a better term. And I saw him. I believe he brought out coffee to a couple people. He actually did some. It actually helped the staff out at the diner. As a voter, you're tired of hearing me say this already. I have to stress it enough. As a voter only, again, very impressed. I've covered everything from, and attended everything from local Lehigh Valley elections and campaign events, all the way up to the Clinton campaign and former President Obama. And to see, as large of a state as Pennsylvania is, to see a candidate who says, you know what, I'm not just going to say that I'm for everyone, that I want to be accessible to everyone. I understand whether you're a waitress, whether you're busting your ass at a minimum wage retail job, whether you're a 6 to 7 figure business person. I want to try to understand the people that make up this state, and to actually see a candidate making the effort to do that is very impressive. Now, as a voter and as a skeptic, probably from covering so many events, and the spectrum, candidate might piss off his campaign, hopefully not at this, but I have to be completely honest with you. From a voter aspect, all this is great. You're making campaign stops. You're trying to reach out to everyone. Well, you're trying to get a job, because realistically, that's all. When someone runs for office, it's all they're asking you for is, excuse me, I believe I'm qualified for this job. Now I'm trying to convince you. And I realize that, especially the office of governor of a state, you can't do this. I fully admit it. I fully realize that. But when the campaign, if he does win, when the campaign's over, will he try to maybe have some volunteers, have some staff members do the same thing throughout his term as governor? Again, if he wins. I don't know about you, but I'm one of those types of people that when I watch a candidate, everybody talks, and I even said this, I believe, to Mr. Wagner. Everyone talks a great game. I want to see what you're doing in your campaign to prove it. And I do have to give, I was introduced to his daughter. One last thing that impressed the living hell out of me with Mr. Wagner. I have on the shirt that I received from volunteering covering the overnight walk for suicide prevention, and he noticed it. And I mentioned the Out of the Darkness walk that happens in the fall at different cities across the country. He introduced me to his daughter because he said that that's her area. And having a chance to speak with his daughter, I said about they have one here in Lehigh Valley, and I'm going to cover be down at the one in Philadelphia this year. Just by looking in her eyes, she was like, please email me the information, gave me her card, and she informed me, she said, if her dad can't be there, that she definitely will. And Mr. Wagner said that suicide prevention is very high on his list, and he even gave it to the others. He said that in the past, since 20, I believe, I forget the number of years, but he said that, how many, by the percentage that in the past several years, how much it's risen. That impressed the living hell out of me. Not one, not even 2-minute long conversation, part of the conversation, really impressed me. Michael Phoenix, speaking as a voter and resident of the state of Pennsylvania, two-time resident of the state of Pennsylvania. Remember, everybody, take some time out of this crazy thing we call life for yourself, for your family and friends, and for yourself. Take the chances, go after your dreams. You never know what could happen.